Hey geeks, welcome to the Geek. In this video, we'll be learning all about the getting starters to Python. So, even before we rightly jump into the concepts of Python, let's know some basic things that one should know before getting started. So I have already created a notebook with the name session 1, and in here I'll be taking you and walking you through some of the basics of Python on how to deal when you start writing code. So what are the some of these highlighter things that you should know even before getting started with writing your Python code. So the first thing that we'll do is write our first code in Python. So this is the cell that I talked about in the last week in my previous video. So in this cell, we'll be writing the Python code in each of the cells, right? So I'll take a sample example. So I have a print statement and I will be writing something like hello geeks. So what have I written? So I've written one of the method in Python, that is print. Print is a method, or you call it as a function, both are one and the same. So what print does is it takes the input from the user and then it prints on the screen. So print follows a format. So it requires these kind of a brackets and it requires a double quotes. So you can see there are double quotes. Any text that it sees within the double quotes, it's an instruction given from the user to the system with the Python code telling that, so I've given you a print function and whatever comes within the bracket and quotes, whatever text you find, please print on the screen. So now let us do shift enter and you see it is printing. So whatever was present within the code is printed now here. Okay, so this is how we will get started with the first code in Python. And one more different opinion that people have is print always uses double quotes. So that's wrong. You can also write print statement like this with single quote. Okay, so do you think this executes now? Yes, it does execute. So again, you're telling Python that anything that is within the code, specifically be it double quote or a single quote, whatever comes within that, please print it. So I'll do shift enter, you see you get the same output. Okay, so print can always use double quotes or a single quote. Only thing is the text should be enclosed within a bracket within the quote and followed by a print statement. Okay, so this is about your first code and difference how you can print your things. The next concept we'll be dealing is comments in Python. So whenever I'm writing a piece of code, okay, say suppose I pick this code itself, I'll just paste it here. Now suppose I'm doing this and there is some other person who is coming to read my code, right? So they should know what I'm writing. So I'm writing the code. I know what I'm doing. But when a new person comes and reads my code, he or she shouldn't go blank. So what do? Is we provide comments. So there are two types of comments that we produce: single line and multi-line. Okay. So single line comment is given by a hash followed by a comment. This is a single line comment. Okay, so what happens when the execution of this particular cell happens? Yeah, when I give the run or do shift enter, what happens is anything that when the Python sees or when Jupyter notebook sees hash, it ignores anything that comes after it and does not print. It is just a plain raw text. Okay, whatever comes later after that, so it sees a print statement, nothing before that, and this is a valid print method or a function, so it goes ahead and prints this. So this is a single line comment. Single line comment is represented with the hash and a text. Okay, so anything that comes after a hash is not considered and considered as a raw text and it does not print. Now I will say shift enter, you see hello geeks is printed. Okay, so this is single line comment. Whenever you're writing code, even for your own understanding also, you can use this hash and write things. This is single line for future understanding of the same code. Now the second type is multi-line comment, when you want to write a comment which is of many lines together. So what do? You do double quotes 3 times. Okay, so 3 times you will print the double quote and then you can write this is a multi line comment. Hi, I have multiple lines. This is line number 3. Okay, so I've written many comments. Now I'll close it. So I'll use the same method to close, and I'll use 3 quotes this way. Okay, now I'll write some code below. Again, I may use print. Welcome to the Geeks. Okay, I'm printing this. Maybe I'll add one more print and say like, share, and subscribe. Okay, now I'll do shift enter. Now you see, when the Python code was given with this double quotes 3 times, it considered it as a multi-line, and anything that came within it was ignored as a plain raw text. But the next two Python code, right, it saw a print and it executed whatever is here. Welcome to the Geeks. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay, this is multi-line. So this is how the comments can be written in Python. 2 types: single line comment and the multi-line comment. Next, we'll talk about indentation in Python. So what is indentation? So Python is told as it's very good readability and it has a very enhanced beautification. Okay, it appears to be very clear for any new beginners to get started, right? So what is that? So it's not nothing but they're talking about the indentation because it is crisp and clear and beautiful to look, right? So how do we do the indentation? Suppose I will write one of the Python code. So don't worry if you do not understand the code now, but understand what is indentation. Okay. So first I'll leave a variable a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3. If so, I'm just checking which is the greatest one. So if a is greater than b, colon, print a is greater, else print b is greater, right? So when you see, what do you think? A is greater or B is greater? Of course, B is greater because 3 is greater than 2. So what happens here is it is checking for condition which is greater and it is printing things appropriately. So I'll talk about the if and else statement later on. Only know that we are assigning values to variable and then we are using the print method of function. And whatever comes within, we are printing if the condition satisfies, else we are printing this. So first what happens? It checks a is greater than b. Is 2 greater than b or 2 is greater than 3? No. So what it does, it skips the statement. It goes to else part and prints that b is greater. Okay. So what is indentation here? Now you saw that we have a if block, right? And then we have a particular space here, right? This space that you see, and even below the else, even before the print, you have a space here. This space is called as indentation. That is a 4 finger space, or you can say it is a tab space basically. Okay, generally people give 4 spaces here. So whenever a Python code sees a kind of a block here followed by a colon, what it does is it gives a 4 tab space, or sorry, 4 finger space or a tab space, and prints the next statement, right? So this is very easy to read. So if my Python code was like this, all in one single line, it's very difficult, right? And it doesn't even execute because Python gives more value to the indentation. So Python always requires you to have indentation. Suppose you print this. See, it tells expected a indented block. So Python is known for its indentation, for beautification, and for easy understanding for any beginner. Now I have given indentation. Now you see, it prints. So it saw that 2 is not greater than 3, hence it went to the else block, it took the print statement, anything within the codes it printed. So B is greater, right? That's what is indentation. So this is all about the indentation in Python. So in today's class we learned how to write the first code in Python, what is print statement, and how to enclose the series of text within the quotes, be it in a single quote or in a double quote. Then we went to the comments in Python. So we have two types, single line and multi-line. Single line giving a hash and multi-line with three quotes, right? And comment, anything that comes within is considered as a raw text and not considered for the execution purpose. The third topic we touched was indentation, that is the space it gives for beautification and easy understanding of the Python code. So please follow and subscribe, like, and share the channel. And for more updates, please stay tuned. In the next video, we'll get started with Python, exactly what things are the major concepts in Python. This video was all about the starter tutorial, you could say, to understand things so you can easily start coding in Python. So until our next video, stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe the channel, The Geek.